What could you say for people who are looking to come to this community? What would set our school districts apart from others? As your neighborhood real estate professional, I've had the opportunity to work with amazing professionals. Today, I will introduce you to another local expert to provide meaningful information. I'm Mitchell Jones, and this is the Lowdown on Temecula Valley. I am so pleased today to have a very dear friend of nearly 20 years who is a leader in education and a leader in leadership in our valley, Dr. July Hill Wilkinson. And July, I just want to first of all say thank you for joining us today. Tell us, how long have you been in the valley?
I moved here in 1996, so quite a while. I'm actually from the East Coast, so grew up in Massachusetts, but the weather out here is much nicer. Came out in 1996, so I've been in Temecula almost that whole time. I left for 2 years, went down to the San Diego area, but then moved back up. So been here for quite a while.
You know, oftentimes I have families coming in and they're asking about the school district here. And what could you say for people who are looking to come to this community? What would set our school districts apart from others? Say they're coming from Orange County or LA County or San Diego County. What would set us apart?
I can say all of the Temecula schools are great for sure. There's a wide variety there. We do, between Temecula and Murrieta, we have 6 comprehensive high schools. A lot to choose from. You've got schools that really push. We have the IB program, high academics, really rigorous. We have schools that are very doing a great job with career technical and helping students find what they want to be as they go through school and beyond. We have schools with a ton of school spirit, and they really are great for athletics. All of our schools have parts of that. One of the biggest differences, honestly, is the bell schedule. So Temecula schools are on a very traditional bell schedule, whereas Murrieta schools have moved to a block schedule. So block schedule, the classes are longer, but you have fewer each day. So some people really like that, some students flourish under that, and some students really struggle with that. So really knowing your child, knowing what their interests are, and kind of knowing how they go through their school day would help you sort of decide on a school.
You're an adjunct professor. What does that mean? What does that role entail?
So I'm an adjunct professor in a master's and teacher credential program. So I get to work with teachers or students, college students that are trying to get their teacher credential right now, introducing them to what it's really like to be a teacher. I'm also the coordinator for student teachers at my site. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to them about what this is really like and what they can expect and how much fun they can have. But it's hard, but it can be a lot of fun when you do it correctly and have fun with it, and you just kind of relax a little bit and have fun with it yourself and don't stress out too much.
We obviously have a lot of youth in our community, and what advice could you give to someone who is exploring the education field and considering pursuing that degree at this point?
Up until now, historically, teachers have been I am the keeper of the information, and I went to school and I have this content, and I am going to plan lessons and plan my day to give this information to you. And that's what teaching has been historically. Well, with the advent of the internet, we no longer are the holder of the knowledge. We now have to design our days and our lessons to have students evaluate and use information, which is very different than getting them to have information. We now have to be facilitators and teach them how to use it and how to evaluate it. That's very different. And I would argue that a lot of teachers are struggling with that shift, and students and parents and teachers all sort of have to understand that we're moving through this together, and what's the best way to do that.
You know, as we've just started a new school year, July, I am sure that parents feel challenged getting the schedule back on track, getting the kids back on track. What advice could you offer up to the students and to the parents now as we embark on a new school year to set us all up for greater success?
So 2 things actually. Number one, obviously with the internet, cell phones have really created a whole different level of stuff in our classrooms. Reminding students to turn their phones off, turn them in airplane mode, put them away, do what they need to do, which leads to the next piece of advice I would give to students, parents, and even teachers, is really always remembering that there are 2 sides to the story. There may be a chance that your student only heard half of the story, or didn't listen to part of the directions, or didn't hear the context for whatever reason. So always hearing the other side of the story. If it's the teacher saying your child was having issues, what is your child's story? And then if it's your child saying there's an issue with the teacher, what is the other side of the story? What is the teacher's story?
I mean, what comes through you is truly your passion, the compassion that you have in the families that you're serving, and you are just such a tremendous asset to our community that I'm honored to call you our friend and our leader. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, feel free.
Again, I absolutely love my job, and I recommend if people want to come into teaching, by all means, come join us. I know we still have a teacher shortage in California, last I checked, but understand that it's tough. It's not easy, but I think anything that you really want to do and that you really enjoy, whether it's tough or not, you'll stick with it.
Okay. Well, you are a wealth of information for us today, and we are so glad to have had you on the lowdown of Temecula Valley, and I hope that you'll come back at another time because there's still so much to share. Thank you, July. Truly a pleasure. Good to see you.